Welcome to the Taller Halfling Productions. I am the Taller Halfling, and this is episode 4 of my solo campaign of Dragonbane in the Deepfall Breach. Last time, our brave heroes, Snappy, Veloron, and Brine managed to save the captive orc, Gorum, from the webs of a demonic giant spider. They brought them out of the Deepfall Breach in the Nameless Chapel, where they can rest and talk. First, I want to introduce time tracking in my campaign, which I didn't do before. So I found a great source for a Dragonbane time tracker. I'll probably list the link in the description of the video. Let's say our campaign started somewhere between March and October. It is not very cold because the adventurers are not in winter clothes, so I'll decide it's not in January or February or November and December. So let's randomly decide exactly the date of the first day of our campaign by rolling a d8. 4. It's the month of June. Which day exactly? I'll roll a d4 as numbers from 0 to 3 and a d10 for the day. It's on the 15th of June, so day 1 of our campaign, which was many mistakes. Day 1 is the 15th of June. Day 2, the chart tomb, is 16th of June. Day 3, the fiendish altar, 17th of June. And now we are day 4. Let's say we start in the morning of day 4. Early morning, our company has breakfast with Gorum, the captive orc, which was saved, and Ingolfer Stormgaze. Tired from their mission last day and from their wounds, Snappy, Veloron, and Brine wake up from their bedrolls to find Gorum and Ingolfer already at the breakfast table. Gorum says, "Here are my saviors. Thank you with my life for saving me." Snappy says, "Well, we did our best. Say, Gorum, who are you? Tell me more about you. How come an orc like you ventured into the Deepfall Breach? How come, as Ingolfer told us, that you know about the cultists?" Gorum says, "Well, first of all, again, I'm thankful to you for saving my life. Second, I'm not an orc, I'm a half-orc. I fight every day with my human and orc side in me. So please never call me an orc again." Snappy says, "Well, sorry, but Ingolfer told us that you're an orc." Ingolfer says, "I owe you an apology. Of course, Gorum is not a pure orc, he's a half-orc. Anyways, we are both very thankful for you saving his life. Gorum, if you please, tell us more about those cultists. Do you know more about the location of their warren?" Gorum answers, "Yes, of course. I was searching the depths of Deepfall Breach for several months now. I was helped by Ingolfer many times. However, several days ago, maybe a week or more, those cultists, I found their lair, their warren, and I thought I was stealthy enough that they didn't see me. However, on the way back to the Nameless Chapel, to Ingolfer's sanctuary, those cultists followed me and captured me exactly before the exit of the Vault of Many Paths. So yes, I know where their warren is. Its tunnel starts from the vault of many paths, next to the one where you found me, more in the direction of the southeast. So if you go there, be very prepared. The subterranean outpost of the cultists, you will find their leader. I heard his name. They spoke of one named Arioch, the devotee of demons who wears the Wordbreaker shard as a medallion. This Wordbreaker shard provides him great powers, magical powers even. You must wrest the medallion from Arioch so that its powers be used for good. Snappy says, I see. So we must take the tunnel which enters to the left of the tunnel with the magical darkness we found you. Brine, Velorum, what say you? Shall we venture there? Brine says, Snappy, first of all, we barely managed to escape last time. I think we are ill prepared for this venture against the cultists' outpost. Even if we find them, and we will, they'll capture us and sacrifice us to the giant spider or maybe to something worse. First we have to go back to outskirts, buy some gear, more food and better weapons. After all, we found some silver in the ruins. Probably we can buy at least some helms for us and also some food. Veloron says, I agree with Brina here. Although I'm very happy with my axe and with my broadsword. I think I could use a better helmet or something. Snappy says, well guys, I agree with both of you that we need more food. I'll take it that they first 2 days E04 gave them food, but on the third day, which was yesterday, and on the fourth day, they'll eat their own food rations. I'll say all of them had 4 food rations each. Now they have only food for 1 day. Snappy says to Gorum the half-orc and to E04 stone gaze. Gorum, E04, we are already out of our food. We have food only for today. I don't want to eat your spare food, E04. So we'll have to travel either to outskirts to buy some food or to the woods nearby and to do some hunting. Veloron and Brina say, we also need some better armor. We almost die here. Also, helms would be good for us. It's a good idea to go to outskirts. However, I'm not sure that 200 silver pieces or 20 gold will be enough for us to buy better armor. Gorum slams his heavy arm on the table and says, look, you go nowhere. I am very tired and still not in very good health, so I cannot come into the Deepfall Breach with you. But what can I do is thank you for you saving my life. I'll give you some gold, enough for you to buy a decent studded leather armor and some helmets. So Gorum takes out his pouch with gold pieces and gives them. I give each of you 10 gold pieces, 30 total. So you go to outskirts and buy better armor and better protection. Snappy says, Gorum, thank you. We appreciate your kindness. We'll go to outskirts today. It's about 20 kilometers distance from here. It will take a little bit more than 8 hours to reach there. And we will return on the following day and continue our mission to investigate the Deepfall Breach in the hope of capturing Arioch, the leader of the cultists. So they eat all of them their breakfast, and with their last food ration, they go on their way to outskirts. Snappy, Veloron and Brine start their adventure about 9 in the morning. The first 6 hours of their hike nothing happens. The weather is cold for the season and rainy, there is no sun. Our adventurers are a little cold and wet, however, they continue their trek to outskirts. In the next 3 hours, nothing happens as well. So in 9 or 10 hours hiking, stopping only for short rests to drink some water and eat their last meal, our adventurers reach the village of Outskirt. They have no problem reaching there following the old path from the west. The village has developed around a crumbling temple ruin from the golden age of the Dragon Emperors. Snappy, Veloron and Brine know this village. It was here they met the first time, in the Three Stacks Inn. Arriving in the outskirts, they head into the Three Stacks Inn, where they know the bartender. The Three Stacks Inn is an impressive two-story building with a massive thatched roof and half-timbered walls. Outside the door hangs a red sign that says, "The Three Stacks, beer, bed and food at heavenly prices." Cheery voices spew out onto the street, along with the smell of roasted boar. It is already 6 p.m., 6 in the evening. The rain and the clouds above make the day even darker. The barmaid, Van Hilt, greets them. "Ha, Snappy, Brine and Veloron. You're back after all. I thought you'll never return from the Deepfall Breach." Snappy says, "Well, Van Hilt, we're well and alive. However, we're wet and hungry. Will you provide us some beer and food? And also lodgings for this night? We're heading back tomorrow, but first we must rest here." Van Hilt says, Of course, if you have to pay me. Last time you were quite poor, I remember." Snappy says, "You're right, Van Hilt." Snappy gives 5 gold pieces to Van Hilt. She checks the gold. "Thank you, Snappy. Here, take a seat. You'll have a separate room for tonight. I see these gold pieces. Where did you get them? They look older than I've seen before." Snappy says, "We cannot share this information with you." "Thank you, Van Hilt. Please bring food and beer as quick as possible. We're wet, so we'll sit at the table next to the fireplace." Sure, says Van Hilt, taking the gold pieces. In a few minutes later, 10 minutes later, she brings them ale and some roasted pork. "Here, your room is on the 2nd floor. Please rest well. We appreciate you as guests here." And so the company eats, drinks some ale. Nothing special happens in the inn. Then they have a good night of rest. On the next morning, 19th of June, our company has a breakfast at the inn for 2.4 more pieces, and early in the morning they go directly to the smithy of outskirts. It is located directly on the other side, across the street of the Three Stack Inn, passing the village square. On the next morning, on the 19th of June, the weather is very fine indeed. A cool breeze in the morning, a blue sky without almost no clouds, nothing to do with the rainy day yesterday. As they go out of the Three Stacks Inn, they see the village square. The inn, the smithy and the shop all face an open space where a weathered statue rises from the earth. It is a strange relic from a bygone era, which seems to depict a warrior in antiquated armor. Veloron looks at the statue and says, "Oh, our ancestors were brave warriors indeed." Brine says, "Yes, Veloron, you're right. Do you see this statue. Both arms have fallen off, but I can still make out the helmet. This is the Dragon Emperor Eledain, who is said to have ruled this part of the world many centuries ago. But let's not tarry here. We have work to do. Let's go directly to the village smithy. So they look at the statue and head directly into the smithy building, a large log building with an open front. The glow of a heart can be glimpsed through the smoke, and from the hooks in the ceiling hang all kinds of weapons and armor pieces. Heavy hammer blows and a melodic dwarven rumble is pouring out into the village square. Valoron says, I know the owners of this smithy, Occult and Badinor, dwarven twins from the Kummer Mountains. They're decent fellows, Occult and Badinor, twin sister and brother. I've purchased some armor before from them. Snappy says, very well. Let's enter the smithy and ask what they have currently available. Occult, a heavily tattooed dwarf woman with a thick braided beard and a formidable underbite, grins as Snappy, Valorum and Brine enter the smithy. Well, hello. Hello, brave adventurers, I think I know you. Valorum, I've seen you before here. You purchased leather armor last time, as I remember, if I remember correctly. Valorum says, yes, indeed, Occult. But now we come for something better. Haha, I see you have some fights in your adventures. Well, it will be wise for you to equip better for next time. Valorum says, as a starter, we need helms, two of halfling size and one helm for me. And then I and Brine will purchase some better armor for ourselves, because those goblin arrows and short swords proved to be quite point-edged. Yes, goblins, I hate them. My brother Badinor hates them as well. In the background, at the forge, they see Badinor, a surly Taciton dwarf. He doesn't pay them any attention. Occult says, yes, my brother, he's always busy on the forge. Well, let's see what I have here. I have two helmets of halfling size. I think they will fit you well. So she passes them to Snappy and Brine. I'll give them to you for 12 gold each. Sure, Snappy says. Valorum, give me some of your silver pieces. And this, Occult says, this is for you, Valorum. Take this open helmet. I hope it protects you. Badinor made it just for you. All of them take their helmets, put them and try them on their heads. They feel comfortable enough to wear. So all of them now have a +1 armor rating for a total of 2 and a Bane on awareness rolls. All three of them are very happy with their helmets. Good. Do you want something more? Yes, says Valorum. Me and Brine would like to purchase. Do you perchance have studded leather for me and the halfling woman here? Occult says, yes, sure, we have. Take this. He passes to Brine some smaller halfling-sized studded leather armor and a normal-sized one to Valorum. They will cost you 20 gold total. Valorum says, I have 142 silver pieces. Well, that won't do. 200 silver pieces will do. Snappy says, here, take some 57 silver from me as well. And one from Brine is exactly the price. Well, that will be too much for us, but please take our gold. Among themselves, they gather 200 silver pieces. Occult says, I hope those helms and armor will protect you against those goblins. Pesky goblins, take care. Valorum and Brine now have total of 3 armor rating with a Bane on sneaking and awareness, and Snappy has a total of 2 armor rating, with a Bane on awareness rolls because he has a leather armor and a helmet. Valoron says, "Goodbye, Badinor. Good work with the helmets." Badinor pays him no attention, continuing to pound some piece of metal with his hammer. Occult says, "My brother is always busy, don't mind him. Take care, see you in several days hopefully." So the company goes out from the smithy shop and Snappy says, "Okay, we have to go to Master's Uvar's. We need some rations and torches." Brine says, "Very well, let's go." On the same square, they enter the shop of Master Uvar. It is an oblong windowless log building. On the roof there are goats feeding on the unkempt grass. Above the entrance hangs a grained wooden sign saying Master Uvar's in curling letters. Our 3 adventurers enter Master Uvar's shop. A tall red-faced man in the 50s with an impressive drooping mustache greets them.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What do my eyes see? Is this Snappy, Brine and Valoron again?
Snappy says, "Yes, Master Uvar. We've come to replenish our stocks of traveling rations and torches. We need about 4 rations each and about 3 torches each."
Well,
"Very well. That would make 18 silver pieces. That's our last money. I'm left with like 6 copper." Master Uvar says,
well, what can you do?
"You have to eat, right?" So he gives them the rations for 4 days each and 3 torches each, which means that they are almost broke. Valoron has about 6 copper left. They are totally broke. Actually, Snappy takes only 2 torches and Brine. So she takes 2 torches, Snappy has 2 torches, and Valoron has 3 torches. All of them now have rations for 4 days and several torches. And almost no money except for 6 copper pieces in Valoron. Brine has also a single piece of bandages left. Our poor adventurers are ready to go back from the village of outskirts to the Nameless Chapel. They don't tarry longer. They fill their bags with torches and with the food rations, and with their new helmets and armor they go out from the north gate of outskirts and continue west on the old road. They leave outskirts at about 12 o'clock. The first 6 hours pass by quickly. They don't stop anywhere, and the journey through the grain fields and rolling hills is uneventful. The next 3 hours nothing happens as well. So in the evening at about 9 p.m. they enter the Nameless Chapel, where Gorum and E04 greets them. E04 and Gorum seem to play chess. Snappy says, "Thank you, Gorum. Thanks to your help we managed to buy some helmets and some new armor for Valoron and Brine." Gorum says, "Take care, guys. I don't like you going out into the Deepfall Breach tomorrow, but E04 thinks that this is very important job to do." E04 says, "Yes, I think we have the advantage of surprise, so we must hurry. Take care this night, and tomorrow venture forth and try to find the cultist swarm." Gorum says, "Today I managed to hunt some wild rabbits in the woods around the chapel. Please let us share this evening meal together." So they eat and they sleep restfully. On the next morning, after a good night's rest, our adventurers prepare their backpacks, their weapons, don their armor and helms, and go to the exit of the chapel. E04 waits for them there and says, "My friends, I'm sending you to grave danger, so I will give you these two stones. These are called calling stones. Snappy takes one of them. It looks like a round black stone made of black obsidian or something like that, without any inscriptions, and asks E04, "What are these?" E04 says, "These are called the calling stones. They are magical. One of them stays with me, the other you take. Whenever you are in danger, you click the stone, you hit the ground with the stone 3 times and say the secret activation word. Whenever you do this, a small magical circle will appear around you and you will be teleported back here where the second stone is located." Snappy says, "What is the secret word, the activation word?" E04 says to him, "I'll tell you, but please keep it secret. We don't want any evil visitors to teleport in the chapel." Snappy says, "Of course," and puts the stone in his pocket. E04 says, "The activation word is Starflower. Whenever you are in danger, hit the ground 3 times and say Starflower. You will be teleported back to me." "Understood." Snappy takes the stone in his pocket. "Well, I wish you luck. Take care, and I hope you return safe tonight." E04 bids them farewell. Our 3 adventurers go from the Nameless Chapel to the Deepfall Breach entrance, to the Vault of Many Paths. They walk past the corridor where last time they found and saved Gorum. A little bit further, they find the corridor of which Gorum told them. "I think," says Snappy, "this corridor leads to the entrance of the cultists' warren." So they enter the corridor. The first thing they see is the corridor ending in what it seems like a dead end, a wall. Brine brings the torch closer to the wall and sees, carved in the wall, in the stones, a great earthen visage, twisted and warped by time and the chisels of cultists, evoking a fanged monstrosity whose gaping maw presents your entry point. The carving of the monstrosity is not humanoid. It has many eyes and facets. Possibly a spider carving of a spider maw. And Snappy, looking closer, sees that its fangs are red, as if dripping with blood. Brina says, "Is this real blood?" Snappy carefully touches the wall, touches one of the fangs, and he looks at his finger. Indeed, it looks like fresh blood. Veloro says, "Better don't touch this." Snappy wipes the blood in his pants and says, "Well, obviously, this is the entrance to the cultist's warren. Maybe it's magical or locked, or maybe it's some kind of a trap. I will examine and open it." One more thing. In this adventure, I will start using threats which are set in the Deepfall Breach adventures. So every time a stretch of time passes, a timer will advance by 1, and when it reaches a 6, the threat of the adventure will activate, which is usually a very bad thing. Snappy, taking his time under the light of Brina's torch, examines the wall and the monstrosity carved in it with the blooded fangs, and searches for a way to open it or to determine if it's a trap or not. Snappy says, there is a trap indeed. I will try to disarm it. Do you see the hole under one of the eyes of the monstrosity? I think it is an arrow trap. I'll try to disarm it. With a boon, Snappy manages to disarm the trap without an issue. With his thieving instruments, he manages to extract an arrow from one of the eyes of the carved monstrosity. Do you see this arrow? This arrow was the trap. Now it is disarmed, and he gives the arrow to Velorum, who has a light crossbow. Can you use this with your crossbow, Velorum? No, my crossbow uses bolts. This is an arrow for a short bow. However, this might be a poisonous arrow, so I'll take it, just in case, with me. And Velorum picks the arrow with him. Okay, but there is something else. Do you see this eye in the center? I think it's an eye hole. And as Snappy says this, all of them see a light flickering behind the hole, as if someone moved. I think we were observed. Brina says, quick, let's try to force open this door. This gate, stone gate, so that we can surprise them. Snappy, Velorum and Brine try to push the wall in the hope that it is a gate that will open. 3 of them push, and suddenly the wall begins to move sideways. A twisting passage, starting from the entrance and zigzagging to the left and right. Quick, be prepared for battle. Someone was behind this door for sure, and he saw us. Probably they escaped in the core of this hideout. So we must be quick. By the way, a stretch of time passed. So Brina will check for her torch. It doesn't extinguish. They see contents, danger, and contents. Towering statues, icy surfaces, imperilled adventure, makeshift barricade. As they enter the twisting passage, the 3 adventurers immediately feel cold, like the temperature drops suddenly below 0. At the far end of the twisting passage, which is covered with ice, they see something like a barricade made of old statues, and on that barricade, they see a body. Snappy says, there is someone there, lying on those rubbles. Snappy goes closer and sees that the rubbles, stone faces, arms and legs and torso, are gathered to make kind of a barricade, and all of them hear a moan. Oh. As they turn towards the barricade made of statue rubbles, they see a fallen human half buried below the statues and the rubble and the barricade. Oh, help me, please. Please help me. Snappy says, who are you? Quick, say. A friendly human. An injustice that demands retribution. A bard. Very touchy because he is half buried alive. My name, says the half buried man. My name is Ogrit. I'm a bard. I came here because my son was kidnapped several days ago. We were wandering in the nearby forest. We were attacked when we were camping. My son, Hjorvald. My son, Orgvald, was kidnapped by cultists several days ago. We were camping in the nearby forest, hunting for some game. So the cultists took my son. I traced them back to here. Unfortunately, they saw me and took me prisoner, Snappy says. Were you the one who was observing us behind the entrance with the carved monstrosity? Yes, I was the one who saw you, but I was told to do this. The cultist told me that my son will be sacrificed to the great spider if I don't obey. So they told me to keep watch on the entrance of this corridor. And if someone comes, that I shall run as quickly as possible and sound the alarm on this wall. I did this, I saw you, and as quickly as possible, I pulled the alarm. But what they didn't tell me was that this alarm was a trap, creating a barrier so that no one can pass behind it. As you see, this barrier fell over me and I'm buried underneath. Also, when I activated the trap, the temperature starts decreasing rapidly. Please help me. I just want to free my son. I don't want to hurt you, Snappy says. I see Ogrit. We will try to help you. How many cultists did you see? At least 4 or 5, but there may be more. Okay, let's see what we can do for you. Brine goes to Ogrit, half buried under the rubble and the statues. As she looks up, she sees a big hole in the ceiling, from which those statues and rubble have probably fallen. She looks at him. His legs and torso are all smashed under his waist. Ogrit, don't move. I will try to help you. So one by one they start removing the rubble in the hope of freeing Ogrit. In the meantime, I'll say that they'll need at least a stretch. Brine says to Ogrit, okay, listen to me carefully, Ogrit. We'll try to help you. Valoron here is the strongest among us. He'll help us free you from the rubble and from the stones which have covered your legs. Do you understand? It may be painful. I'll start making strength checks for Valoron, who will try quickly to free the legs and the torso of the buried Ogrit. So he'll need at least 3 successes. With every check, a round passes. Ogrit, the bard, will need to pass a death save. A death save with a difficulty of 10. Valoron, with the help of Snappy, start removing the rubble around Ogrit. Success. Ogrit's death save. Success. Second round. Another success. Ogrit. Another success for Ogrit. And after several minutes, they manage to free Ogrit. But he doesn't feel his legs. He cannot move. Brine asks him, Ogrit, can you move on your own? Ogrit says, no, I don't feel anything below my waist. Brine says, we have to save him. Valoron takes Ogrit on his back and starts to carry him back to the exit. Brine's torch is not extinguished. Do they manage to safely go back to the 3 adventurers? Valoron taking on his back Ogrit, Brine behind, and Snappy at the rear go out of the Vault of Many Paths, out of the Deepfall Breach, and quickly go to the Nameless Chapel. E04 sees them from the entrance of the Nameless Chapel and greets them. You're back quick. Not an hour has passed since you were gone. What happened? Who is this? Snappy says, "We saved poor Ogrit. He told us that he was a bard, and the cultists kidnapped his son, Hjorvald." "Okay, quick, put him on a bedroll. I'll take care of him," says E04. And so Valorum quickly but carefully puts the injured Ogrit on a bedroll near the fireplace of the Nameless Chapel. Snappy says to E04, "We found the entrance to the cultists' lair. This Ogrit here, this bard, told us that the cultists kidnapped his son several days ago. He tried to save his son following the cultists, but they captured him as well and forced him to be an unwilling watch on the entrance to the cultists' warren. When he saw us, he activated a trap which prevented us from going further in the cultists' lair. So now we'll go back and try to enter it. The entrance is barred by some rubble, but I think we'll manage to clear it and continue further." E04 says, "Yes, go. You've done good to save this guy. Go and be careful. Remember, on a danger, use the calling stone, but be careful. Its magic is not limitless." And so our three adventurers head back after leaving E04 to take care of Ogrit. And with that, our session is complete. We'll continue next week. Take care.